Hi everyone, it's Kino MacGregor. We're going to look at a posture called Bujapidasana, which is shoulder pressing posture. Now, when you're working on this, it's kind of the first arm balance of the primary series. It requires a little bit of flexibility in the hip joint and some strength in your wrists and in your shoulders. So let's look at all of those tools. Why don't we start off with the flexibility in the hips? We can find that by coming to a squatting position. So take a nice wide squat with the knees pointed out to the side. Then I want you to sink down into your hip joints. So if this is real hard for you and you're up on your toes, no problem, because actually you enter the posture up on your toes, but if possible, see if you can sink down into your heels. Then from here, let's just reach forward, and I want you to kind of wiggle a little bit side to side through the hip joints so you can start to feel some movement right through your groin, right from there. And then let's just hang out there for a moment, and this will help you get the release through your back, through your hips. That will take you into this posture called Bujapidasana. Of course, if you're doing the traditional Ashtanga method, the preceding postures like Bujapidasana A really help you with this same movement through the hip and through your groin. If you're unfamiliar with Bujapidasana A, and just while I'm talking, if you're following along, just start to rock forward and backward through the front of your foot to the back of your foot. And if you're unfamiliar with Bujapidasana A, be sure to check out that video on my channel and you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so after this, now we're going to work on the wrists. So how do we work on the wrists? By placing them underneath the feet. So now pop the back up a little bit. So you pop your hips up, lift up your left heel. Take the shoulder and place the calf muscle right on top of the shoulder and let the left wrist be flat. Then step on your wrist. Now, we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Lift up your heel, aim the hip up, and get the shoulder right on top. After you go through that movement, After you go through that movement, step on both wrists. So pause for a moment here and begin to grip your fingertips. Now the wrists start to be strong and you're hanging out right in that same space, right through the hip joints. Keep the belly sucked in and lean a little bit forward and do that same sort of rocking motion. Lean a little forward, lean a little bit back. If you're this far into the posture, you can already do it. If you're having some trouble wrapping your feet around your arms, make sure to bend your elbows and point the wrist out to the side. Now, to move into the posture, wiggle, 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 wiggle your toes towards each other. Get the toes touching. Avoid the sensation of trying to straighten the arms too much. Just let the elbows bend so it's nice and easy. Then, take the right foot, move it forward. Take the left foot, move it back. Wiggle, 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 and cross your feet and squeeze them together, and you're easy off the ground. If you try to straighten your arms too much, you're probably going to pop back. So just hang into the little bend of your arms, and then if you can, try to point your toes. So this is Bujapidasana right here. We can take it a little bit deeper by bringing forward the whole posture, but let's do that nice and easy. Take your toes to the ground, bend your elbows, lean forward. Exhale, place the forehead or the top of the head on the ground. Then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your feet back until the feet are back past the plane of the wrist. Then from here, keep gripping your fingertips, and this is all the work to strengthen the shoulders and the wrists. Lift your toes off of the ground by activating now finally the pelvic floor. Pick it up. Take 5 breaths here. Then put your toes on the ground, press through the shoulders, lift the head, and I gotta do that one more time. That's exactly what you're not supposed to do. I might even want to show that. No, I'll just do that one more time. That's exactly what you're not supposed to do. All right, so here we go. I'll just do that one more time. So, after 5 breaths, take your toes on the ground, wiggle, wiggle your feet forward. Now the biggest temptation is to let your hips go to the ground too far. So engage your pelvic floor, press through the arms, and then just send your head a little bit forward. Don't lift your head more than that. Only when you feel the balance and start to bring the head through, begin to press from your arms, and then now let's exhale, easy, sit down. So I want to go through that whole posture one more time as though you were doing it from downward dog without that little warm up. Now for this movement from downward dog, be sure to pause and breathe. Don't worry about doing everything on one breath. Just give yourself the time to figure everything out. This is the easiest way to get into Bujapidasana. There are more complicated, more advanced ways, but this is a great way to begin trying. Okay, from downward facing dog, prepare by reaching out through your fingertips and then look forward. You're going to jump your feet to the outsides of your hands and then you'll sink the pelvis down. So reach forward with the shoulders, bend your knees, point the knees to the outside, and then just jump forward to a squatting position. Just like that, nice and easy. If you have a hard time jumping to the squatting position, you could give that a few tries. You could jump forward to a squat, jump back to downward dog, jump forward to a squat, jump back to downward dog, jump forward to a squat, and then sit down. Don't sit all the way down, but we're coming to that same prepare. Lift the heel, reach the shoulder under, step on the foot. Lift the heel, reach the shoulder under, and step on your foot. Make sure that the elbows are clearly past the plane of the wrist and past the plane of your thighs. Sink down as you bring the shoulders forward. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your feet together, and then slowly cross. Press and squeeze to come up. Point your toes. Reach down, top of the head to the ground. Wiggle, 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 and lift your toes as you lean forward. Take 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze the shoulders, and then take the feet to the ground. Send the head forward. From here, nice and easy, see if you can come back up. Release your feet. Take a round to the outside 1 foot. Take a round to the outside 1 foot. Exhale, jump back. And then that's Bujapidasana. Nice and easy, not so hard. So we go little by little, step by step along the way, and you'll build that foundational strength that'll one day take you into the posture. There are way more advanced versions of this posture. For example, jumping into it or placing your chin down. But if you're new to the practice, start here with something super basic. Don't go to the advanced right away. Just get really good at this. How do you know you're ready to move on? Well, if you're finding that it's easy to do the beginner version or the first version, and you find yourself looking for more of a challenge, then you know you're ready to move on. Don't jump ahead, go slowly, step by step, and let the practice show you the way. Thanks so much for watching.